In today's episode, I'll be looking at Ziliqa and ETH, which are two altcoins with insane upside potential this year. Bitcoin hitting an all-time high today with Ethereum not far behind. Bitcoin dominance is falling. What does that mean for the altcoin market, and where are our biggest gains to be made? Guys, if you're new to the House of Crypto, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button on the way in to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in Ethereum, Bitcoin, and the altcoin market. So without further ado, let's jump into our first altcoin. The first coin we're going to look at is Reef Token, currently jumping over to market cap. We can see the Reef Token is currently trading at 4.5 cents on the dollar. Currently down 9.63%. Now, some might see that as a bit of a warning sign, but given the news and given the upside potential of this coin, actually what it's presenting is a really exciting and potentially great opportunity to buy in at a lower price than you could have done yesterday or the last few weeks. Okay, so currently what we're looking at is a market cap of 136 million. Okay, which is obviously not super small, more of a kind of a mid-sized cap, mid-market coin, right? And the volume is $314 million. Now this is actually pretty high, guys, particularly for a project that launched just the end of last year. Okay, so this volume is pretty high. It's available on both Uniswap and Binance, which are again really key indicators that this could be a success or is likely to show some success. Okay, these coins and cryptocurrencies fight very hard to get on exchanges, and particularly to get on these big exchanges such as Binance, etc. It can be quite difficult for some to realize, and takes them much longer than Reef Token, which has actually succeeded much more quickly. So jumping into what Reef Finance actually is. So Reef is DeFi made easy, right? So what you probably noticed now that you've been if you're new to cryptocurrency, and maybe it's easy to get hold of Bitcoin and Ethereum, and there's plenty of places to do it, but when you want to get hold of other coins like Ziliqa or Reef or Doge or whatever it is, you may have found some difficulty in finding those coins. And once you've found them, whether you found the best price, etc., can be a bit confusing. And whether you want to do some lending or staking or other opportunities that are available, you might not know. And what Reef does is it puts all of this information into one place. Okay, so instead of having to remember your login details for Binance, your login details for Atomic Wallet or Coinbase or BlockFi, whatever it is that you are trading through, all you need to do is remember your Reef password, log into Reef, and be able to access the best prices available. It'll automatically provide you the best prices. It provides you with liquidity. Okay, so sometimes you might have found when particularly with Ethereum and Bitcoin recently, when they're flying up, sometimes that actually can be quite hard, or other things, Dogecoin, whatever it was, to actually find the liquidity, someone to actually sell you something when it's going up and you want to put a purchase in. Now, what Reef does is it actually provides the liquidity for you by finding the liquidity from different places and providing you with someone to buy it from. Okay, it's powered on the Polkadot framework, which, as you probably know, has been booming itself recently, and is a particularly positive thing, because as Polkadot grows in popularity, the more information arises about it, and therefore all the kind of like the DeFi that works on that particular platform will also benefit from that as well. So this is a really exciting thing. Okay, the gateway to DeFi through liquidity and protocol aggregation, proprietary analytics, and multi-chain accessibility. Now, if we jump down to what's been happening, so what the problem they're trying to solve is liquidity. As I've just mentioned, liquidity can be a bit of a problem, particularly with smaller cap coins. Yield problem, high technical barrier of entry. So again, if you don't have much of an understanding of crypto, or you're quite new to the crypto industry, getting the information to find where to find different coins, where to find the best price, etc., can be actually quite a challenging thing, and can be a bit of a problem for people, and actually put people off getting some skin in the game. Okay, so this is a great platform that will enable people with perhaps less knowledge, as well as more knowledge, to be able to use crypto and smaller altcoins much more easily. Also avoids a fragmentation problem, with DeFi activities are fragmented and painful experiences and increased complexities. Right, so it's dealing with all of these problems here. Powered by Polkadot. So what does that mean for us? So when Ethereum is getting upgraded, or when there's an upgrade on Ethereum, they have to create like a fork, like another root off, and that can cause problems, right? So they have to make changes to what's already in play by creating sort of a variant, right, which causes potential problems and bugs in the system. However, Polkadot doesn't do that. Polkadot is built on a system that allows it to be upgraded as it goes, which actually makes it much more efficient and much less likely to suffer any errors. Okay, so Reef Finance is secured under Polkadot's shared security model, ensuring high resilient and faultless upgradability. Okay, so that's particularly strong. Right, so what's been happening recently? So if we dip back just into the end of Q4 2020, this was basically when it kind of like launched onto the scene. So Q4, which was sort of December time, Binance launch pool, got into Reef Farms, economics and security audit. And now what we're looking at, guys, we're in Q1 currently. Currently, a lot of this is happening as we speak. And as you can see, a massive amount of new news and new exciting opportunities for holders to make some money are coming in, right? This is a project that's got a good idea. I mean, it's got some really good backing behind it. And actually, once a lot of these things start getting implemented, this is where we can see some real value show up in the market. Okay, so Reef for me is something that I see as a really exciting project. Many people have been jumping on and asking me about Reef. If you've been going around like YouTube, Twitter, there's loads of information starting to pop up. One thing I wanted to elaborate to, just jumping over to Google Trends. And then we've seen a bit of probably this is when it launched. Yeah, around time it would have got launched onto Binance. Bit of a dip in interest, but now suddenly bang. We're suddenly seeing a load of information available. Prices are moving, people get excited, people start searching for things, it draws more people in, it kicks in all the algorithms on social media, more people get exposed to this kind of cryptocurrency, and this is an opportunity to perhaps jump on board at a very early stage in a product that actually is really, really exciting with great potential on the upside. Something I wanted to mention, just as a disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, go away and do your own research. Trading is risky, you can always go and lose all your money. However, I'm just giving you the analysis that I've got and why I see upside potential. Jumping across then into the Reef USD chart over here on TradingView, we take a little zoom out. You can see it's not been around very long. Obviously, up here was kind of like launch price and often, sort of huge spikes. But we don't really consider these to be that relevant, right? Because, what will happen is they tend to launch on platforms and people sort of sell them all off. Initial investors sell them all off, which causes these huge dips. So, in terms of where we are at the moment, we're actually up in kind of like discovery mode, right? Although, looking here doesn't look necessarily like we are. We're up in discovery mode. And what we can see is today we've taken this dip here. Now, actually, if we were to look at it and we follow, these charts tend to follow these sort of patterns like this, potentially, we've just found the 20-day EMA. We've dipped down, we've put a big wick down through here, and now we're finding some good support. Okay, so we've bounced back up, and as we speak, it's bouncing around there. And if this holds, this is actually a really potentially good buying opportunity, guys. Now, in terms of where it could go if it fell further, we need to look then at like other lines of previous resistance and support. Obviously, there's not many because it's not been around for a huge amount of time. But as you saw here, we hit a bit of resistance. We've come back down, we've retested it, and we've come back up. If we were to look further down at where our sort of risk levels, we could draw a line here, but this line here obviously looks fairly substantial as well. Putting us down, that's 3.2 cents. Okay, so obviously if it is to fall from where it currently is down to here, it's a bit bigger than that. It's a loss of 25% would be potentially. However, as the trend is showing us at the moment, guys, this is only going to be moving this is looking like it's going to be moving in a really upwards trajectory. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure right now is a really great buying opportunity. We've got actually a substantial line of support being put in here, where we come through it, we've broken back down, we've broken out through it, and we've retested, and eventually, if we can follow these trend lines up, then I can see this breaking out. Now, if you're a bit more cautious, what you might wait for is this to double like this, and we get ourselves a nice W pattern. Okay, in which case then we're going to have an upside potential of something like this. I'll just have a zoom out, which would bring us to 69 cents. Now what would that be from our current price? If I have a quick zoom in, then we're looking at, can I do that like that? Chart's being funny with me today. Then we're looking at a price 54% gain from where we're currently sitting, guys. But in the future, where do I see this going? Well, it's obviously very difficult to sit back and speculate exactly where they're going to go. But in terms of like the market cap, currently sitting around 1.3 or 130 million, that's actually pretty small, guys. For that, if it can go up towards sort of a $1 billion, are we looking at a 10x from there? Potentially down the line, 100x. Obviously, it depends on how much people value this product. I personally would get great value from a product like this. If you believe that you could get great value from it, then maybe that's a good indication that this is actually a pretty sound investment, guys. Let me know in the comments below whether you agree. Do you think Reef is a great investment? If you're invested in Reef, what price did you get in at, and what's your target price? Okay, always worth having a target price, guys. Obviously we'd love it all to kind of continue to go up forever, ever more, but taking profits is where we actually make our money, rather than just looking at numbers in an account that don't actually necessarily mean anything until we sell. Now, quickly jumping over then to Ziliqa. Now, Ziliqa is something that has been around for a bit longer, and you've probably heard a bit more news about Ziliqa. Although recently Ziliqa has been a bit quiet, because for the last month or so, we've seen a big consolidation phase, and then currently in the last few days we've seen Ziliqa really take off, breaking out of that phase. And actually, if you're most of the watchers of this channel are over in the sort of States, a lot of this investment is actually happening over in Asia, right? So Ziliqa is actually Ziliqa is actually a Singaporean company from a group of entrepreneurs, engineers, software developers over at the University of Singapore. Okay, and what is Ziliqa? So Ziliqa is a sharded blockchain. So if that might sound a bit confusing, in your ordinary blockchain, say on Bitcoin or Ethereum, as you'll notice, it's quite slow, and it can take quite a long time to process. Because of that, then it becomes quite expensive. So Ziliqa solves this problem by creating a sharded blockchain. So what happens, instead of having like one block, it breaks up into an infinite number of blocks that can handle an infinite number, in theory, of transactions, and then comes back together to form the block on each blockchain. Now, what does that mean in terms of speed? So Coin is operating at around 7 transactions per second, Ethereum around 15 transactions per second, but Ziliqa has been tested up to around 6,000 transactions per second, and potentially the future more than that. Now, they're actually looking to take on big companies like MasterCard and Visa, currently run around 8,000 transactions per second. So this is actually a really exciting project, and has a really fantastic team following it. Now, you've probably seen in the past people talking about Ziliqa staking. So in order for people for Ziliqa to keep hold of funds and to build their blockchain, they actually want people to hold on to Ethereum. So instead of just getting Ethereum for a few days or a month and selling it on to something else, they're actually going to reward you for that. So what you can do is, I currently use Atomic Wallet, but you can stake Ziliqa. That means that you'll agree to hold Ziliqa for a set period of time. I believe it's around 2 weeks, and in return you'll get up to 15%, although that does change. The more people that are staking, it drops a little bit. The less people that are staking, it goes up. So actually every day you get rewarded with more Ziliqa. So actually the compound effect of this, as Ziliqa goes up, is actually a huge plus side. So although the price has been pretty static for the last month or so, I've actually still been gaining a solid sort of return every day on my Ziliqa holding. Now, it's quite easy to stake Ziliqa. You can come over to the Ziliqa.com website and it will take you through that, but that's a video for another day. Also, in return, they give you something called governance Zil, and that's like something that allows you to have say in like the future of the cryptocurrency. Also, governance Zil has its own value. I believe today it's around $100 a token, and you get paid depending on the amount of Zil you hold in governance token, as well as getting rewarded in Ziliqa. So actually it's a really exciting opportunity, guys. Now, jumping into the Ziliqa chart here, we can see on the daily chart we're actually approaching this level here of all-time highs, which is around 23 cents back in May of 2018. Okay, but since then, we've seen a big decline along with the rest of the crypto market. Although here we've seen a swift uptake. Obviously, we've seen a lot of development in the project that's led us to its current situation. So as we look into the chart closer on a 4-hour chart, we can see we've had a big increase here, and we're seeing this little bit of a dip here. Okay, so what does that mean for us? Well, in terms of where we've been in the last, where we can find sort of recent levels of support and resistance, it's quite potential that we're going to have a little bit of a fall back down and retrace to around 12 cents, which wouldn't be a huge drop down in percentage. Okay, it'll probably take us down around 12%. However, potential for a really good buying opportunity. What we've seen here, we saw a bit of a resistance before as we broke up through, and now we could potentially be bouncing back on this. And it'll be interesting to see how this plays out, guys. If it drops back down, then I'll be potentially waiting for it to come back down to either 20 EMA line here, the blue one, or dropping down here before I might look to purchase. However, you could be looking to jump into it now. However, I advise against FOMO and jumping into things just because you've heard about them and they sound great. There's a potential here that we might see a bounce or we might see a bit of a dip down. Okay, depending on what's happening in the rest of the markets. So if we go here at our swing high back in 2018, and we draw it all the way down to our swing low back here, then we can see some significant points. Oh, let me just click that there. See some significant points that we've come up to. So as you can see here, we've got our, let's jump into a, just on the daily. Okay, so as you can see, we've come to 618 and we've tested and we come all the way up through here. Now as you can see, guys, if we look at where our swing, our next line of resistance could be, would be around the 786. As you can see, where I drew that yellow line here, sits nicely on the 0.5, and that would be a consideration if it was to drop back down. A really good opportunity potentially to buy here before moving to the upside. Now, what other news and things are pushing Ziliqa? Like, let's jump over to Twitter. Okay, so something, if you're not already on Twitter or you don't use Twitter much for things like crypto, Twitter's an amazing place, guys. We can follow these coins. You can find out as it happens all the news that's happening. You can. I've got a crypto news channel which I'll attach to the YouTube comments down below, where you can jump over and I'll launch all my new videos on there every time they're released, so you can get kept up to date over there. But you can also see over here, people have been trading big moves on Ziliqa today, but bigger news for the ecosystem is when innovation organizations like X Academy official decide to partner with Build on Ziliqa. This is going to be massive. Okay, so big companies leading YouTube Academy. What if we go back down? The crowd over at home community has proved many people wrong. Okay, so we jump in here, we can see huge amount of Ziliqa retweets, etc. going on. Ziliqa gets really quite heavily mentioned, guys. If you're over on Twitter at the moment, you might see Ziliqa popping up quite regularly. There's various sort of celebrities and stuff who are also quoting about Ziliqa. People asking about Ziliqa all the time. Here we are, $15 million locked on ZilSwap. Okay, so many opportunities, so much news coming out about Ziliqa at the moment. And actually, if we can get in around this time when there is news and we aren't hearing it necessarily from our friend down at the bar, right? And we're actually getting in ahead of the game. So I still believe this is super early and a super great opportunity for Ziliqa. Although we've seen a huge bull run in the last sort of couple of months where we've seen really big price gainage, I still think that the Ziliqa upside is really high, and that potentially by the end of this year, I believe Ziliqa could be hitting around $4. Guys, if you've got Ziliqa, let me know why you've got Ziliqa. If you believe it's going to hit $4, then hit the comments below and let me know why you think it's going to hit $4. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It really means a lot if you can hit that like and subscribe button. I put a lot of time and effort into making these videos, and I hope they give you some value. And I hope I can continue to bring you more good content. So if you can, just turn that thumb blue. It does actually do a lot for me, and should only take you 1 or 2 seconds to find it. So thanks very much, guys. I hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be looking at Ethereum and Bitcoin. Pay attention to what's happening at the moment in the markets, guys. Potentially quite a lot of volatility around. So always stay safe, do your own research, and good luck. See you soon. Thank you. Bye.